Hey guys, Troy Schuyler here, licensed real estate broker with the Sky team at Keller Williams Realty, Umpqua Valley. Just going to shoot a real quick video for you to kind of give you a kind of a market snapshot for the first quarter of 2019, give you an idea what the market's doing, what the market inventory is doing, what sales are doing last year versus this year, last month versus this month. Kind of what's happening. You know, are homes moving? Is it time to sell? Should I wait? Is it time to buy? Just to kind of give you a quick snapshot to kind of help you to determine if it's time to make a move or not. Regardless if it's time to make a move, it's also just good to know what the real estate market is doing, especially if you're a homeowner. So when I talk about inventory levels, I'm talking about residential homes, not commercial, not lots and land, that kind of thing. So when I talk about it, keep in mind that a balanced market is about 6 months inventory. That simply means that we have about the right number of homes for the number of buyers out there. 6 months is traditionally what we would consider a balanced market. It gets over 6 months inventory, you start tipping towards a buyer's market, more negotiation, higher times on market, more product, more homes to choose from. So that kind of drives prices down just a tad. You know, when you get up to 7, 8, 9, 10 months inventory, there's just a lot of product, a lot of homes on the market. You get under that 6 months inventory level and you start going towards a seller market. That's how we determine the difference between a buyer's market, seller's market. Seller's market, you have fewer homes on the market, faster sales times, multiple offers, a little bit more competitive, prices go up, you know, that kind of thing. And so that's kind of what we've been experiencing in Douglas County for quite some time now. But what I can tell you is in January to March, the latest statistics we have are through March. They're always a month in arrears. January, we had about 4.8 months inventory. It might sound like not very much. You're right, it is on the seller side of a market, but then it dropped to 4.5 months in February. We had the snowstorm, the craziness and all that kind of put things on hold maybe a little bit. But in March, we just had a ton of sales happen in March, and it really just drove that inventory level down 3.4 months inventory, which is a pretty solid seller's market. Some of you buyers out there understand you're looking for a home. It's pretty hard to find right now, isn't it? So, you know, we're canvassing neighborhoods, we're calling, trying to round up homes for you guys to buy. And it's a little bit more difficult than it was. You got to be ready, don't you? When you find a house that you want, you better jump on it now, or you might have 2 or 3 offers on it. It typically is gone the first weekend if it's priced right. So closed sales in March kind of reflect what happened with the inventory levels. Closed sales this March versus last March were up just over 7%. There were actually 131 closings in Douglas County, residential. Keep in mind, this is all residential. That was just over 7% increase from last March, but it was almost a 30% increase over last month. So February to March, you had almost a 30% increase in closed sales, which is pretty nuts when you think about it. The pending sales were down just a tad from last year, which is kind of interesting. Like I said, I'm trying to help you kind of gauge what the market's doing here. They were down just a tad, but they were way up from February again. So March, we're looking at probably a pretty busy spring selling season, summertime, just because of that. So 14.5% more pending sales homes went under contract in March than they did in February. So it'll be interesting to see what the April statistics are like. It seems like it's going to be shaping up to be a pretty good month as we're coming closer and closer to the end of the month. There were 172 new listings taken in Douglas County, a little bit less again than last year at this time, again accounting for the lower inventory levels, but it was still quite a bit up from February, which, you know, with the crazy weather we had and all the rain, the snow and stuff like that, people are kind of on hold. So that probably explains a little bit of that. Bottom line, it's a seller's market. If you're thinking about selling, you know, if you have plans of doing that anytime in the next 1 or 2 years, I would say now would be a good time to do it. You don't want to wait for this market to pass and then, you know, hindsight 2020, right? Year 2020, who knows what's going to happen there. Inventory levels being down, that just makes it a good time for you guys to think about that. Marketing time, we saw a little increase in the marketing time. We are starting to see a few price reductions here and there. Homes that are sitting on the market, typically those are the ones that might have started a little too high in the first place, because like I said, if you're priced on the money, you're going to probably be the first one to sell. Average marketing time increased a little bit. It was 81 days on average listing to sale date. But that's not in every neighborhood. Keep that in mind, that each neighborhood has its own. That's just a Douglas County average, okay? Average selling price. The interesting thing for you guys out there, again, thinking about buying or selling, this is really useful information. Last year at this time, the average selling price in Roseburg was only about $215,000. Today, right now, the average sales price is over $239,000. So that's a pretty significant increase. If I did the math right, it's a little over 11% increase in sell price last year versus this year. So like I said, whether it's time to sell or not, that's really up to you. On the seller side, definitely you couldn't be in a hotter seller's market. Interest rates being low like they are, the feds did announce that they're not going to be bumping rates this year. So you know, you can afford a little bit more home when rates are low. If the rates start to bump up, higher price, higher rates is a bad combination for buyers. So I would really encourage you to talk with a lender. If you need a recommendation, hit me up, troyschuyler@gmail.com. Call me, text me, 541-643-1131. I would be happy to give you a couple lender recommendations. And if you have any questions about real estate, tips, you want to just read some stuff about that, visit my blog. It's roseburghomesforsale.com. And you can also search for properties at troyschuyler.com. I know I'm throwing a lot of these at you. All this should be below the video. But I'm always here to help. Hope that does give you a little bit of information that you find useful. If you did, please feel free to share. God bless you guys. Have a great day.